Making a video on social media and having it go viral might be one of the most enjoyable things this world can offer. And believe it or not, it's actually not that hard. I'm gonna go over some simple stuff that you can do yourself right now to make your very first viral video. Although I'm gonna point this part out there from the get-go, this has only really worked for short-term content, and I'm still really kind of working towards long-form content, but just hear me out real quick, all right? So let's go over the things real quick of the kind of stuff that you can do in order to make a viral video and post it yourself and do it repeatedly. When you're making a viral video, when you're making any kind of social media content as well, I've been going back and forth with this one. I don't know which one I'd put first and which one I would put second. But there's like one, we'll say two number one rules, which I know sounds weird, but they go hand in hand. Number one, no matter what you do, no matter what you post, you have to enjoy what you're posting. If you're not sharing the same kind of energy into the video to make people want to watch the video, that would make them feel as if they're a part of it, they're not going to want to watch it. You have to sit there and not only be genuine when you're making your video, but you have to enjoy it. You have to radiate that kind of energy, because people are going to pick up on it, and as they're watching the video, they're going to feel as if they're truly a part of what's going on, as if they're actually there. And if you don't have that kind of energy, no one's going to want to watch you. So make sure you find something you actually enjoy doing, or at least, at the very least, something you're very good at doing, and just pretend you're enjoying it. And number one, understand that no matter how much effort you put into a video, no matter how much time you put in, you could have every aspect of the video perfectly right. You might not get views. Not every video is designed to go viral, truly, and not every video will go viral. You have content creators out there like Mr. Beast that even when they put a ton of money, a ton of time, a bunch of like big name people into a video, it still might not pop off that well. And that's completely okay. You have to understand that sometimes things will pop off. Sometimes you might put a video out there that was your first take, you put 20 seconds of effort into it, and it goes super viral. And you have other days you might spend 6 months, a year on making, and it might not work out. And that's completely okay. You have to be aware beforehand that this is just a reality of the nature. But that's the thrill of it. It's a gamble, it's a lottery. That's why they always call it the algorithm lottery every single day when you make a video. Anything could happen at any point. You could repost that same video too. If it doesn't do well, take it down, repost it, doesn't matter. Have fun with it. You have to enjoy yourself. And what's really stopping you? The only thing truly stopping most people is the fact that they don't know what to do. You'll figure things out. I believe in you. So this one video that I'm about to show you has been planned out for weeks on end beforehand, and it worked pretty well. It didn't just work on the number one social media app right now, TikTok. It worked on YouTube, Snapchat, Facebook, and Instagram as well, all across every platform. So let's go over it real quick.
What the fuck?
Yes, using a Brita filter is actually going to make well liquor taste better.
I see your well liquor and I raise you Rumplemints, 100 proof peppermint schnapps.
Okay, this is game changing.
All right, so looking at that video real quick, there's a lot of different things I want to sit there, and from the very beginning, I want to sit there and make sure that you realize why it worked the way it did. From the very beginning, the very first scene, this video was already getting some traction. I believe it was already out for about 3 days of the time period and had about 1.5 million views right when I decided to stitch this initial video from Chris, which is a doctor who's a doctor of pharmaceuticals. He had stitched this video, had about 1.5 million views or so around that time period initially, and I was like, I feel like I can do something with this. And I waited a couple days. So in my head, I was like, all right, what can I do, add to this video? What can I truly add, not just reposting a simple video, but what can I do to make people interested? Anyway, all the aspects of this video right here from the very get-go, stitch incoming, show that there's something to come in. So whatever's going to happen in this video is going to be a reaction-based content video. It was a stitch, and at the very least, you should watch the first 5 to 7 seconds of this video to know what happens next, right? So at least at the very minimal amount of effort, you have your viewers' attention. But you just have to make sure the next scene that you're able to hold on to it. So not only did this video look genuine from the get-go as well, but the reactions within the video in the first part seemed about as real as it possibly could be. So initially, when you're watching it as a viewer, you want to see what happens next. They put about as many things as they possibly could in this with the twisted tea. I believe that's a raspberry in the front. They have their bottle of vodka out, the Brita filters off to the side. 2 girls, a dude, they're most likely in college, younger years. Like, you're able to pick up on a lot of things that you're able to see right away without really having too much argument. And already, because you're able to notice factors of that video and you can tell yourself that it's true, that it's real, you're going to be more interested. And then we'll go to the next scene.
What the fuck?
Yes.
Fun, right? Initially, before Chris even starts talking this part, you immediately know and recognize the fact that he has some kind of medical background, correct? And it's not just because of the jacket. I know a lot of people are giving crap like, oh, like, well, I'm going to take advice from a dude wearing a lab coat in a hotel room. I just happened to be where he's at the time period. You can make a video anywhere. I'm in my closet right now. I turned my closet into a walk-in like, I'm sorry, I turned my walk-in closet into like a little game room office area. You can make videos anywhere. At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. As long as you're putting out quality content, people are going to want to watch it. All right. He goes right into the next point of, yes, a Brita filter can help rail liquors taste like smoother, like better. He mentioned a term that a lot of people don't know. In this case, it's well. Well and rail go hand in hand. It basically means like the lower end of alcohols in a bar. And it doesn't mean it's bad per se. It just means it's on the cheaper end. It makes it cheaper for the end cost for the customer. That way they're not able, or they're not going to have to spend an arm and leg in order to get a drink. So we go into the next part. So they've already established a question, a possible solution. So in this situation, I'm like, all right, what can I do here? What can I add? Well, if you know me at all from social media, I've been on for about 2 years or so. I'm kind of known to be drinking Rumplemans. Rumplemans is 100 proof peppermint schnapps, and it's very potent, it's very strong, and not a whole lot of people like drinking it. Each their own. I enjoy it. I'm not sponsored by any reason. This is not a Brita Filter promotion. This is not a Rumplemans promotion. I've done this all myself. I promise you that. I will never lie to you. I also suck at lying, so we're going to put that part out there as well. So let's go on to the rest of this video.
Using a Brita filter is actually going to make well liquor taste better.
All right. I'm going to try to stop this as many times as I can to sit there and tell you what I did in each scene. So a few weeks prior to this, I stitched another one of Chris's videos where I stepped down that exact same way, wearing the exact same shirt. So this goes to the next step as well. Showing people a scene, something that is going to catch their eye that they've either seen before, like almost like a deja vu aspect, and or something they can recognize around them. It could be like a flag. It could be a school shirt by any means. It could be an NFL team. It could just be a scenery outside. Grasping their attention immediately, cutting scenes about as quickly as possible to show them what's going on and go immediately to the next scene without a direct transition of the camera shows that, one, you look like you know what you're doing, but it's simple enough to the point where the average person feels as if they can do it themselves. A lot of high production like videos, they almost seem so unrealistic because no one can really do it. And when you put out content like that, yes, it might look clean, it might look smooth, but if someone feels as if they can't do it themselves, they're going to feel inferior. When they feel inferior, they're not going to want to be a part of it. So I used to end up using the front camera in that situation. That way it looked kind of blurry in a sense. Still not bad quality per se, but it popped out and made people feel as if they could, do it themselves. And immediately I went into about as many quick scenes as possible, was showing about what I was doing in that scene, and I'll quickly go to the next one before I start explaining myself. This is pulling out the shot glass, from pulling out the liquor directly out of my freezer, putting it right down on the counter, putting the Brita filter out. Side note too, it came in the mail broken. I actually tried to get a new one, but Brita never responded back to me. I sent them 3 emails. Are you listening to me, Brita? I want a new filter. Or at least, at the very least, I want to know how this video did for them. Because I know for like 3 weeks you couldn't even buy a Brita on Amazon, and I thought that was hilarious. Anyway, we'll go to the next part. I see your wall liquor. So immediately in this scene as well, I cut back to my back camera. I know I was talking about earlier how you want to make the production not quite as like over the top, but in this situation, it's very finite. I'm standing still, so it seemed more appropriate. So I used my back camera. I used additional lighting as well. I know I look a little hungover in this video. It's because I was. Sorry about that, Mom. Anyway, but I had set it up. This is just my kitchen and my apartment. This is realistic. It's not an over-the-top scenery. It's not an over-the-top set. It's just an average kitchen. And I'm just sitting there looking like an average normal person, right? Anyone could do this. And it immediately makes people interested in what I have to say next. So I slap my hands on the counter. Sorry, I forgot where I was. To grasp your attention immediately and identify what I'm about to do in this video. I'm putting Rumplemans into a Brita filter. There's already kind of a weird cult, negative and positive background when it comes to Rumplemans, 100 proof peppermint schnapps. And no one's made this part of the video yet. I saw people putting whiskey in it, vodka, Malort, which do not drink Malort. Malort's disgusting. But to my knowledge, I was the first one to put Rumpel through it. And a lot of people have a very bad taste on their tongue when they think about Rumplemans. It seemed perfect to me. But this wasn't really quite how the video ended. So I'm gonna be honest with you as well. I even said this to Chris in DMs beforehand. I might even include those later. I'm not really sure. DM me. Maybe we'll talk about it. Anyway, so I'll be honest with this part. This part of the video was fake. I know. You can get mad at me all you want, but I'm gonna explain it here. So initially, when I started to make this video, I fully believed that me putting rump mints to this filter was gonna taste like absolute dog shit. Like, I did not expect it to taste good in any way whatsoever. I had very, very little to almost no faith whatsoever. But in the process of me making this video, I did not run it through with a couple cups of water beforehand, which is what we were supposed to do to make sure like the new filter is kind of like washed through from all the impurities that come in from the factory and the wrapping and all that other stuff. It's just to like wash it through a little bit. But essentially, this is a brand new filter. A lot of people that are doing this video, a lot of people who are watching the original video or doing this themselves at home, have been using the filters in their house that have been there for probably a year or two. This is brand new. If you use an older filter after about 20 days or so, they go dead. You're supposed to get a new one. You're supposed to change it out more than once a month. So if you use an older filter, it's not really going to work that well. I think that's part of the reason why later in this video, it worked a lot better than I thought it would. So I had done this whole video, and I felt bad. But so I felt so bad to the point, actually, once I was done with the video, I rewatched it. I'm sorry, before I even edited it, like all the scenes and all that, I rewatched it, and it looked extremely ungenuine. It looked fake. I was like, I can't post this video. This looks horrible. If I posted it, it would have probably gotten more backlash. It might have got like 100,000 views, and I say that in a non-cocky way because I'm shadow beyond fuck right now. And I'm like, I can't post this. So I went back, and I redid it with the real rump mints. And the whole time, I'm like, I'm going to throw up on camera. And I might post just a video of me throwing up, right? And I was genuinely surprised. But let's watch that reaction real quick.
And I raise you rump mints, 100 proof peppermint schnapps.
So then I try to dump that there, by the way. I try to flick off the bottle cap to make it look like I just flipped it off, whatever. Try to do a little vortex to get people's attention as well, because pouring it just off to the side is too slow. Both planned out. There's a few other things I planned out as well, so watch this. Do you know why I decided to pull out a Rubik's Cube? I'm waiting. Okay, time's up. A few different things. Number one, you have to give time for the whatever liquid you put into the Brita filter to filter. It takes a second for it to run through the carbon filtration. But I'm like, all right, this would be a good second and a half where I have essentially dead time. I could just skip the scene completely, but then it almost looks like I'm not actually waiting, which is, if you watch this part of the video, you could still see the liquid dripping through the filter itself. Why not show me doing something else? So I decided to pull out my Rubik's Cube, and I was doing the last part of solving it. Side note, I taught myself how to do this back in high school out of a $20 bet. Shout out to Max Lenowitz. But yeah, so I decided to just do that, just get people's attention. And then once I was done with it, I showed the people, showed the camera, and then I put it down and left it in the exact same spot while I finished the rest of the video. Watch. Notice before I hit enter or space on this next scene, right when I pour this was actually a mistake. But you can look at the genuine look on my face here, you can tell it was a mistake. Kinda. I don't really go with a whole lot of motion. I filled up to the brim. I didn't mean to do that. It came out of there a lot quicker than what I'm used to, because I'm used to pouring rump mints out of a pour spout, and it pours really, really slowly because it's very thick, it's very dense, it's very sugary. It pours out slow when it's cold. But a lot of those impurities got removed because I didn't really expect that, which is why it was so loose. And I tried to throw it back, show everybody that I was actually drinking, not just sipping and spitting back in and putting it off to the side.
Okay, this is game changing.
Notice my reaction there. So I was waiting for that rump mints burn. If you've ever had rump mints before, it burns a lot. I take that back. On some days it burns a lot. Like days I have like bad acid reflux, it burns a lot. But if you ever had it before, like you know what's going down. It's like what 5 gum feels like or tastes like. And then you get like donkey kicked in the face. That's what rump mints tastes like. You get that deep burn in your chest, and you like can almost like exhale like ice dragon breath. It's insane. That's why I love it. Anyway, I was waiting for it. I was literally waiting for it. As soon as I took a sip, I'm like, you know, it wasn't happening. And that's when I realized, I'm like, wow, this is actually game changing. Like, if we get a brand new filter, what does it actually do? Does it just remove the sugars? Does it remove like the alcohol content? Come to find out later, it does not actually remove alcohol content at all, because apparently the alcohol molecules are just far too small, and they just pass right through the carbon filtration, which is awesome. Why not? And this is truly game changing. And the amount of like scientists and so-called scientists, the amount of people that hit me up with a bunch of information after this video came out, had a pretty good explanation for this as well. So not only are the molecules too small that they'll just pass right through, which is why the alcohol content all stays there, but so many people were asking, if this really works, why aren't like companies doing this with their cheap, shitty alcohol and selling it just to make it easier for everybody? Well, truth be told, it's not really cost effective. So using carbon filtration like this is pretty expensive, which is why Brita filters like themselves are like $20 or $30. And the reason why your $5 bottle of vodka is $5 is because they don't really have to go through that process. If you were to do so, that's usually when you get your premium higher end vodkas or other forms of alcohol. So it's not cost effective in order to do so. So they just sell it to you when it tastes kind of shitty, which I think is not a bad business plan or not bad for you as the end consumer as well. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Anyway, guys, if you like this video, do me a huge favor, like, comment, subscribe. I have a lot more stuff planned out here in the near future, and I'd like to keep it, or this kind of style video as well, where it's like short, quick, and not too much editing to do on top. That way I can just fire out as many as possible. So yeah, thank you guys, and as always, have a great day, y'all.